Welcome to Guns Gear Network, everyone. Appreciate you tuning in today. We're going to do a tabletop review and discussion of a couple stun guns that was sent to us by ISpy Defense. If ISpy Defense sounds familiar to you, I just recently did a review of one of their personal alarms that I showed you how to turn into a perimeter alarm for like camping and bugging out. And so after I did this review, I sent that video over and got a discussion going with the company, and we decided that they would like for me to do some other reviews of some other products. And so I picked some different products that I thought you guys might like to see, and one of those products was stun guns. And the reason I chose those is because I always like to find alternatives to self-protection and all those type things, and they had some that was pretty budget friendly, and I wanted to show you that. So let's talk stun guns for a minute. Me personally, I would not depend solely on a stun gun because A, I'm capable of shooting a firearm. I'm confident in having a firearm on me and shooting and all that stuff. So, and I live in a free state, so I'm capable of carrying pretty much wherever I go for the most part. But stun guns are another tool in the toolbox. Now, I've had stun guns in the past. I've had training on stun guns and tasers and everything else. So what these are, I call them less than lethal because they can be lethal under the right circumstances, right situation, just like pepper spray. There's people died after being sprayed with pepper spray. There's people that's died after being hit with a taser or stun guns or whatever. So keep that in mind. These can get into the lethal range, but they are less than lethal. So when you compare them to, say, a firearm. But I think they serve a purpose, and they kind of fit everybody's need a little differently. So you might be an elderly woman that don't have the capability of firing a firearm. You might be somebody that's scared of firearms, don't really understand them, don't really want one, and you're just looking for another means of self-protection. And something like this would fit into that category. So just like me personally, you know, I'm a pretty healthy man, and I can take care of myself, but I still carry pepper spray. I carry some other options with me besides just a firearm, because sometimes you may get in a situation where you don't want to use your firearm, and you might could take care of it with something like this or some other means of, like, say, pepper spray. So when I looked at their stun guns on their website, and I'll have all that information in the section below down there, y'all can kind of look around and see what maybe fits your needs best. But two of the things I was looking for, I wanted something that was small and compact that could easily fit maybe in a lady's purse, on a man's belt, whatever, or maybe in their pocket, that just wasn't big. And then the second thing I wanted when I got to looking, what that I thought would be a good idea, is something that does not look like a stun gun. So I chose these two for that reason. This one looks like a traditional flashlight. This one is small and compact. We'll look at this one first. This one is the Lifeguard by Streetwise. Now it says it has 6,500,000 watt stun gun. Now I don't know, you know, how much that is correct or not. I have no way of measuring that. So this right here, as far as the looks go, looks traditional. It is small and compact, though. If you look, it fits in my hand. I can basically cover the whole thing with my hand. Has one button right here that is for the on of the flashlight. In the first click position, this last click position, or the second click position, then activates this little red LED to let you know that it's on. And it then fires the stun gun portion. You cannot fire the stun gun while the flashlight is on, vice versa. In other words, I can't turn the flashlight on while that is on, so it's one or the other. So this one actually has, which I kind of like, you don't have to worry about keeping up with any cords or anything like that. It actually has a built-in wall charger. You just simply plug the whole unit into the wall, and then it plugs it up. And it operates that by this little slide mechanism here, just like that. Now, this one does have a disable pin. So when I first got this pin was not inserted, and I wasn't sure what was going on. And then I got to reading the instructions like the true man. I try messing with stuff. Before I read the instructions, all else fails, read the instructions, right? So it's got a disable pin. And I think their thinking behind this is if you are wearing it and you're using it, and then the attacker maybe gets this away from you somehow, they can't turn around and use it on you. So I kind of think that's their thinking. So it does have a disable pin, or if you want to disable it maybe and keep the pin separate if you have children, you know, things like that. But it does have that feature built in. So I do like this one. It comes with a little nylon case here. Pretty traditional style case, got Velcro closure for the top, and then it has a belt loop on the back, and it does have a little built-in D-ring, so if you want to hang this maybe in your car or something like that. Comes with instructions, the basic stuff. So the other one that I wanted to look at was this this one here. This one looks like, you know, like a tactical flashlight or whatever. It just looks pretty standard. So it does have a flashlight, just like that, and I think these are LEDs. Don't hold me to that. I'm pretty sure they are LED flashlights. But this one has the capability of being a stun gun. Now, this one has a little switch. It does not have that little disable pin, but you have to turn the LED, I'm sorry, excuse me, the stun portion with this little switch in the back. You'll turn it to that position that says on, and then it operates as a stun gun. So, one thing I will tell you about stun guns is do not sit here and fire these things over and over again or for an extended length of time. They will burn them out. So, don't sit there. I know it sounds cool sometimes. I know we've all been to the gun show and all of a sudden somebody trying to sell stun guns and you hear this all over the floor of the gun show. But don't sit there and fire these things a lot. You will damage them, so keep that in mind. The other concern sometimes with these is overcharging. Don't keep them on a charger, you know, any extended period of time. I would say maybe an hour. You know, here's my thoughts on either one of them having a flashlight, and this one looks like a flashlight. Don't depend on this being your sole flashlight. You know, keep a regular flashlight, keep this one kind of as a backup, because your main purpose of something like this is the stun gun portion, not the flashlight. If you want to, you know, have a flashlight, buy a traditional flashlight, use this one kind of as a backup, or just as a last minute grab in an emergency situation and you need the flashlight and the stun gun portion of it. Just don't forget that this one does have that on-off switch on the bottom. You don't want to get in a situation where you're hitting this stun gun button and nothing's happening and you forgot to turn this on down here. So don't forget that. But I like it. It's aluminum in construction. It does have a charging port, and it does come with a charging cable. It does have this little case here, kind of a different kind of style case than what I'm used to seeing. It's kind of a bikini style case that fits like this, and then you do that. It's got a belt loop, but that's what the case looks like. Nothing too fancy. Be honest with you, I'd probably just keep this in the dash of my car or whatever, but this right here is probably a little big for a lady's purse, but it would probably work for something like that also, if you didn't mind something that large. So this one has a 5-year warranty. This one has a lifetime warranty. I'm not real familiar with how they warranty these, if it's through the manufacturer, it's through the company itself that you purchase from. You'll have to, you know, check on that yourself when you, if you ever have a problem. But like I said, the main thing that you have to keep in mind with stun guns, don't overcharge them, and be careful with the just having them go off just to be listening to them. I mean, if you want to test it, obviously you want to test it, but just no longer than about, you know, a second or two at the most. Don't sit there and hold that thing. You will burn it up. So just be cognitive of that. And, you know, again, if you want to test it, that's fine. Just make sure it works. And then stop doing that and don't sit there and just play with it. But anyway, guys, I appreciate ISpy Defense for sending these over. I think that overall it's something that I would recommend that somebody has. Again, as just another tool in your toolbox. You know, you just never know when something like this might come in handy for various reasons. Give you a good example is like dog attacks. You hear that in the news all the time about people getting attacked by dogs. I can promise you, if you hit a dog with this, they're going to let go. It's just, that's just the way it is. Now, you're still going to have to learn some ways to defend your vital organs and things like that. But if you don't want to shoot, and the problem with shooting a dog is unless they're turned sideways, and they never are because they're facing you with their head, you've got to hit basically a saucer-sized spot trying to shoot them, and somebody under attack, especially a lady or anything like that, that might not can get to their firearm, whatever the case, just carrying something like this, and you stick that on that dog's nose or on their neck or on their face, they'll let go. You know, usually something like this will stop an animal like that. So they come in good for that and other type situations. So that's why I say this may not be self-defense from a bad guy every time. It could be, again, just from a situation of a dog that's getting ready to attack or has attacked you or whatever, and something like this would be much easier to deploy against a dog than a firearm a lot of times. So, but anyway, just something to think about, guys. I think, again, it's just another tool in the toolbox, and I would recommend having something like this on hand for those type situations. I want to thank ISpy Defense for sending these over. We're going to take a look at some other products that they sent, but this was the first ones that I wanted to do a review about and to show you guys. But I'll have all that information in the section below. Check them out, and if you purchase anything from them, be sure to tell them that you saw the Guns and Gear Network videos and you decided to purchase. That's always helpful to us, and letting them know that our videos helped you make your decision. As always, guys, if you got any questions, post those below. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. It's down there in that section. If you would share content, it's down there in that section. Helps us get the word out about the channel, helps us get the word out about the sponsors and the products that they send. And as always, guys, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll bring another video shortly. Have a great day.